is the port side. It's the worst. The scale. Very worst is here. Well, how can I see that? There. I could poke through that piece.
So Fiona has been helping me for a few days on TinTin, but a family emergency has forced her to fly to Australia to help a family member. And that means I'm on my Pat Malone on the boat trying to fix everything. Well, today on TinTin, I'm fixing the rig. So what we had was some leather boots on TinTin, covering the spreaders. And those dirty little fuckers have caused some corrosion on the spreaders, and I've been out there fixing it up, trying to work out how to sort that out. So what I've done is taken the leather boots off. I've cleaned them up with, or cleaned up the spreaders, at least one of them, with a Dremel. And then I've used some of this magical composition here, which is Belzona 444 or 111, quadruple one. There we go, got it right. And it's an aluminium epoxy, rebuilds aluminium. So I had some deep gouges from corrosion, so cleaned those out. Acetoned it all, put the Belzona in, smoothed it all off, waited for it to dry, and then I've sanded it all down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and put that end cap back on the spreader and put some protection on. So what I'm looking at is coating it in some lanolin, corrosion protection, and maybe some tape, just to protect from the stainless steel fitting. So I'm also coating the stainless steel fitting in plenty of lanolin as well to make it less of a problem for me in the future. So boat jobs, love them. Wasn't planning on fixing the rig, but here I am. We did an inspection in Fiji and found a bit of corrosion, but didn't pull the leather boots off, sadly. That's a mug's effort, and it's come and bit me on the arse. So now I've got them all off, checked out the corrosion. Port side's worse than the starboard side for some reason, and yeah, just got to get to it, sort it, move on. Now, rather than hang in the harness and crush my balls, I decided to put quite a long step ladder up there. Still not long enough, so nothing dodgy here at all, but that's our setup today. Getting up there, and that's how we're going to sort things out. So I'll find a bit of a camera angle where it's not looking straight into the sun, and we'll crack on. So what we've done is we've got the end cap on, greased the shit out of it with lanolin, and I was going to cover it in tape, but I think I'm just going to leave it open That way there's less chance of corrosion in there. And I'm just going to put a bit more lanolin on because a little bit is good, too much is better. Okay, we're heading up to do the next starboard mizzen spread up here into the sun. Again, everything's a pain in the ass when you don't want to be looking at the sun, but here we are. So I'm just going to throw you in a bag while I climb up here. Nothing sketchy at all about this ladder. I do have a harness and a safety line, so it's not all dodge. Okay, so let me give you a look at what we've got going on here. Here's me at the top of the mast, well, halfway up the mast. Probably a little too close for everybody. But yes, this is what we're looking at. This is the spread up. This one's not bad actually, just a bit of corrosion. So just got to get that end cap off, give it a clean up, cover it with lanolin, and off we go again. So yeah, back in the bag. Okay, tonight we are doing running repairs on TinTin. Trusty old sewing machine, gift from Mum. And yeah, this is my mizzen sail bag that needs a bit of TLC. So I'm just sewing a new floor in it, doing some stitches, and we'll keep it going for a little while longer. Good morning. We're in the boatyard again, slaving away, sweating like a pig, and it's only early. Today's job's the shitter. You might find TinTin's shitter a little interesting. Well, not as interesting as I need it to be at times. Oh my God, don't want to look in there. Don't worry, it's just crud from leaving the boat for a few months. But TinTin's shitter was initially a gimbaled shitter, so it would swing from side to side. Now, I think it's a great concept, but a really poor execution. You imagine getting flicked from side to side on the shitter. That would be quite a rough ride, I reckon. But suffice to say, someone secured it, because it was obviously not a very good idea. But let me show you what we're up to. We've been doing some sewing, fixing stuff last night. There's no time to waste when you're in the boatyard. You would just work. So I started off pulling out the motor from the toilet, the head, because it was seized. It's amazing how many times you come back to a boat and a water pump is seized. So last year it had the same problem. It was a bit stiff, and then it worked perfectly all season. And I have a spare motor, or spare whole pump actually, Mace Raider pump. But this time it's completely kaput, and I made a point of flushing the whole thing with fresh water before I left. So a little bit disappointed. But yeah, got my hairdryer down there or a hairdryer, it's actually a heat gun, to soften up the pipes to get them off. They've been on there for a while, so the easiest way to get them off is just to soften them up with a heat gun and then pull them off, making sure you don't melt the fuckers. So yeah, I'm now at the point whether I repaint that whole structure and put it back in, and the toilet, or I just replace the whole toilet. I quite like the toilet. It was a Blake Lavick toilet from the UK, and it's a vacuum toilet. So you close the lid and it creates a vacuum and it pulls stuff through. But and I could swap it out for my manual bilge pump, you know, if something failed. But I'm starting to think it might be time to progress onto a standard toilet, which doesn't look quite so cruddy. Maybe get a new mount made out of stainless, I'm thinking, because that one was made out of mild steel and powder coated, which probably cost more than actually getting made out of stainless. So yeah, go figure. But that's where I'm at today, doing all this. And then in the little cupboard in the wall, got my water heater that's plugging away. It doesn't need to be actually on. I've got to pull all my water maker out. My water maker failed last year in Tonga, and that membrane in there is dead. I didn't have a membrane for most of the time, so I just went around and begged, borrowed and stole water. You know, found some springs, found some wells, captured water off the solar panels and the off the deck. We survived. So yeah, best part of the trip was without a water maker, sadly, and it was working perfectly before we left, which is really annoying. So going to pull the whole thing out, rejig it. I'm going to turn these around this way. Going to check this pump is fine. You know, put a new high pressure hose. I'm going to change the cylinder out to a standard cylinder. I had this one made in China. Quite like the design, but it's hard to get filters for it, or membranes. So I have a membrane and I have a spare housing, so I'm just going to put a standard housing in. I'll keep that one spare and maybe I'll pick up a membrane somewhere. But yeah, so that's my boat jobs, pulling all this stuff out, servicing it, cleaning it up, making it pretty again, doing some painting. I'll probably rip up the floor in here, get into the bilge pumps, check my anodes. I have internal anodes in TinTin because I've got a wet bilge from the shower here, just straight in the floor, so I keep some anodes in there just to offset anything that's going on. And they do get eaten, so I use magnesium, so they're softer than alloy or zinc, and that way, you know, they're the softest metal in there, not my boat hull. But yes, back to my problem at hand is pulling this thing apart. Okay, well, getting things apart. So toilet and its support are off. Yes, they are on the kitchen workbench, but the kitchen workbench will be bleached before we start doing food again. It's going to get a lot dirtier and messier before I'm finished. May even need a paint this year, I think. So this morning I got up and put the mizzen sail bag up, and I'm going to put the mizzen sail up in a minute. I tend to swap and change jobs as I'm going along. Get into the boat, out of the boat. It was a bit wet with dew this morning, so yeah, I'll let things dry off, and now I'll go up there and finish putting the sail up into the bag, get all that secured, get the reefing line sorted, and take this down. Might have a crack at it with the wire wheel. I'll have a think about that. And I've also got to get up the mast and pull the other spreader off and get that looked at to get sorted out. Had one soaking in vinegar overnight, so that's my spreader there, and that's vinegar. And yeah, just trying to get the end piece out. I'll pull that out and give you a look. So this is the end piece. A lot of corrosion. Chap who put my rig up put leather boots over the ends of the spreaders to protect the sails, but I would rather have been fixing the sails than having to fix this shit. And yeah, I didn't think to look under them for corrosion. We had it done in Perth, West Australia. It's pretty dry over there. Corrosion's probably not a real issue. but I've been sailing in the tropics now in New Zealand, and it is definitely not my fucking friend. So I need to get that plug out. May need to get a new plug made. There's not much corrosion on the plug, a bit of a clean up, sand would be fine. But yeah, I need to chop the ends of the spreader off, weld new ends on, probably about here, or make a bigger plug, and that takes up the end. Not sure what's best course of action. I've got a couple of fabricators who are happy to weld a piece for me. I don't think I'll probably get the exact one, so replacing spreaders is a bit of a dodgy deal, especially when they're quite old. Anyway, I'll throw that back in the vinegar, let the vinegar keep doing its work to help ease this out, and we'll go up and do some sail stuff. Okay, so we got the sail on and the sail bag on. Still needs a little bit of adjusting. Got it out of the way, so we're generating some power on the boat at the moment using the solar panels. Checking on those things. They probably will need to be pulled apart and checked all the lines, connections. But at the moment, I'm going to make another spreader because I can pull the other main spreader off. We have to do a bit of work on those. So if we look up there, we've got a temporary spreader and another one. That one's not so bad when it comes to corrosion. Still has some. But here we are. We're going to make another spreader. So at one end, I've put some gaps for the wire. Take it up, put it up, get the wire in the gaps, and then pull the other end down, tie it nice and tight. And then I put a climb height knot up here so it doesn't move and it pulls it up. And then I tie each wire in using a piece of line. And that keeps the spreader in place in case we get a bit of a blow, whilst I'm off getting the other ones fixed. So I'm using a pretty, reasonably quality piece of hardwood, and just an old piece of timber, but suits the job. That's my other temporary spreader. Get a bit of Fiji, maybe. Alright, so the plan is to head up the mast and pull down the other spreader. Still need to pull out a bolt, which I don't know how difficult that's going to be to get out. Push the stays off it, put a temporary support in. We'll bring that up without damaging anything, lower the other one down without making it worse. Secure the timber spreader so that the rig doesn't fall down, and it's supported by temporary mid shrouds and top shrouds, but I still want to make it as secure as possible. Rigs are expensive, so that's my plan for the next hour. I've done one before, so I have a better idea of what the hell I'm doing, but I'm just going to rig up and then we'll go from there. And all the injuries I've got from helping Fiona build some retaining walls are really fucking bothering me at the moment, which sort of sucks ass. So at the moment I'm putting on a climb heist knot, which is made from tubular tape, and it allows you to climb smooth things like wire, pipe, steel. Perfect for what I'm doing here. Just happen to have one of those pieces of timber here. Like it was made for the fucking job. Oh. Well, it doesn't fucking hurt the nutsack very much at all. Alright, let's lower this down without breaking anything. Okay. I think I need to wash this shirt. It's starting to get a little stinky. Too much boatyard life. There's the corrosion. It's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Other than the corrosion, there's nothing wrong with these. They're been up there a long time and they're doing pretty well. Long story short, if you have leather boots on your rigging, whip them off every year and coat the things full of some form of lanolin or something like that, some protective coating, and then put them back on. I wish I had learnt that lesson myself. It's a difficult lesson to learn after the fact. Anyway, life goes on.